let's underscore that Hope Hicks is one of the president's most trusted and senior aides. We do indeed, Mika, and let's underscore that Hope Hicks is one of the president's most trusted and senior aides, one who is in close proximity with him many hours a day. The world learned of her positive diagnosis not from a White House statement, but from a media report. And credit to Jennifer Jacobs at Bloomberg News, who broke the news. The White House, let me say that again, the White House did not release this information. They did not publicly disclose it. We, at the Associated Press, NBC, other media outlets, were all able to confirm it after the initial Bloomberg report. And then, of course, the president himself did disclose that he had been, the First Lady had been positive, doing so in a tweet after 1 a.m. The White House, we've been pressing the White House on this as to why they did not disclose information, and they have not responded to that just yet. Previously, though, they've been very cagey. They have not been ones to make the announcement saying that they wanted to respect the privacy and the health updates in terms of people who work at the White House. But there's a certain understanding here. This is someone who, there are national security implications for someone who has been so close to the president for so long, particularly in the last few days. And to Bob Cox's point a moment ago, which is spot on, you know, of course, we all wish that the people involved are healthy and recover, but we need to coolly analyze what happens next. And indeed, the president has spent basically since March trying to make this election about anything other than just a referendum on his handling of the pandemic, trying to make it a choice between himself and his Democratic opponent, Joe Biden. And we have seen him, whether that would be law and order of a defense of Confederate statues, to do so. He's been unable to do that. And now, after having played down the threat for so long, he himself gets it, and it completely changes and overshadows everything else about this campaign.
Yeah, there are obviously, as you said, national security implications that the Trump administration are sorting through right now. There are also, of course, complications that have to do with the proper functioning of government. If you see the list of the people that Hope Hicks has been in contact with over the last 3 days, again, the threat. Let's just be very direct about this. It has nothing to do with politics and has everything to do with science and medicine. The threat would be far less if everyone on this list wore masks when they were in confined spaces. But Donald Trump, Melania Trump, we've seen, especially the president, has mocked people wearing masks. You have Robert O'Brien, Rudy Giuliani, Mark Meadows, also a man who mocked reporters for wearing masks on Capitol Hill, Ivanka Trump, Jared Kushner, Donald Trump Jr., Kimberly Guilfoyle, Eric Trump, Laura Trump, Tiffany Trump, all refused to wear masks at the debate, despite the fact members of the Cleveland Clinic came up to them and asked them to actually wear masks, despite the fact there were guidelines saying that everybody inside that room had to wear masks. And we could go down the rest of the list. We know that Stephen Miller and Dan Scavino were actually in the helicopter with Hope Hicks. And again, not wearing masks, at least while they were getting onto the helicopter, and not wearing masks while they were there. But then we've learned this morning from former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, and also someone who was with the president throughout the weekend through Tuesday, preparing him for the debate. Governor Chris Christie said that no one that was in the rooms where the president was preparing for the debate Tuesday night with Governor Chris Christie were wearing masks. It's interesting that Tuesday night, the president of the United States mocked Joe Biden for actually wearing masks again. And so this is not brought up for political purposes. But this is actually something that members of the Trump administration, I pray members of the Trump administration are considering right now, because this not only impacts what's going on inside the White House, and this will also impact what's going on with a lot of United States senators who have underlying conditions, with the nominee for the United States Supreme Court, Amy Coney Barrett, who is in contact with Mitch McConnell, who was in contact with Mark Meadows, who was in contact with several other people across the Senate. And so you start seeing how this ripples out. And of course, it becomes a much greater threat, Mika, because as Dr. Fauci has said, as the CDC has said, as the Trump administration has said, even if the President of the United States sometimes has undermined these statements, that the wearing of a mask significantly cuts down on the passage of the virus, so the aerosol that spreads the virus. And so that's why hopefully this morning the White House is working furiously to see who has been exposed to this virus, and they can start making contingency plans in case there are some bad developments with members of the administration or even members of the Senate who are impacted by this COVID outbreak.
I'm especially concerned that nobody was informed, and the White House briefing wasn't used to inform the American people about this exposure. And it raises the question, what else don't we know? We're going to continue to follow this breaking news after a quick break. When we come back, we'll get reaction on Capitol Hill. And get a sense of how this story is playing out on Wall Street as well. We'll be right back with much more developing news on Morning Joe.